Hey, this is Sarah, and today I'm going to be talking to you about reading 52 books for the year 2012. There's a lot of people out there attempting this. Lord knows I love to read, and it's a good excuse to read loads. I know we're already we're already like 9 weeks into the year, but I think I should get extra credit because, I read big novels. But today I'm going to talk to you about the first two books that I've actually finished this year. I started the Game of Thrones series. Well, it's A Song of Ice and Fire. I started that series sort of late last year, very late last year, in amongst the move, and so I finished the first two. I've still got the third and fourth physically in the house, and obviously I still have the fifth to pick up. But they're really good. And so far I'm really, really enjoying them. I've got about 4 books I'm currently working on the moment, which are sort of thinner novels, and I'm doing that in amongst studying that I'm doing. So, if I could include my study books, I've probably read loads, because I'll crack on with 100 pages of study work within a day, if I can, if I don't have any obnoxiousness. But anyway, on to talking about the first 2 books I read. I'm just going to talk about them both together. I heard loads about the Game of Thrones series in loads of chatter on different places. Wasn't really put on to them. Didn't realize, because I was living in the UK at the time, that, I don't know, I guess I was living under a rock, they were doing the HBO series. And there's a woman that I watch on YouTube called Torin Page, who does a lot of hair tutorials for really long hair. She was doing a lot of the hairstyles from the series, and she was going on about it, and she made it sound really, really appealing. So I thought, well, I'm hearing loads about the series, so why don't I check it out? Because I love when HBO does series. So even if, it's terrible, it'll be loads of blood and gore. It'll be something cool to watch anyway, because she was going on about how amazing the costumes were and the hair and everything. And so I checked that out online, and it was amazing, and I loved it. I really loved it, and I loved how it was done. And I also loved, the story itself was really cool, and I was like, ooh, Sean Bean, who doesn't love Sean Bean? And is it Jason, I want to say Jason Momoa? Is it the guy that plays Drogo? He's, huge. He's epically huge. Anyway, so there was that, and I checked that out, and I really, 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 really enjoyed it. And so I picked up the books for my husband, and we've been enjoying them immensely. 2 things to note. If you're somebody that really loved the series, on TV, not necessarily, how do I put it? I didn't find that I was let down watching the series again, after I finished reading the first book. I found that the series was a lot closer to a rewrite or a slightly different take on the story. There were some characters which were added, which I don't know if they're going to be found later on in the series. I would assume not. Characters like Roz, who I actually really liked, and she was obviously in the televised version, if you've seen that. But she's not, from what I can tell, in the books, unless she comes up later, which I don't think so, because of something that occurred, which I'll talk about in a minute. Yeah, so, there's some characters like her that were just hilarious that aren't in it. And then there's some characters that aren't in it as much as is portrayed in the first season of the series. Like Shay, for instance, really wasn't in the first book that much. And I wish she was, because if she was in the book the same way she was in the series. But I think it's really good, actually, because if if you look at it as like two ways of developing the characters, you actually get a really cool scope of the characters. And I don't know, the way that they've done the series, like there's a lot of characters that you don't see a lot of in the first book, but you see a lot of them in the second book. Like Theon Greyjoy, like you barely know he's in the first book, really. And then all of a sudden you're like, in the second book, you're like, wow, you're barely in the first one. I don't know why I should give a crap who you are. Now you're everywhere, and yeah, you suck, and I hate you, I don't like you, I don't want you in the book or anything, and I don't know, maybe it's just me. I just really hate the character of Theon Greyjoy. But I've literally just, the night before last, finished reading A Clash of Kings. So, I think what really did it was not long after Christmas, what was I doing? I was reading Atlas Shrugged, and that book is huge and dense, and it does the greatest job at being inaccessible. So I haven't managed to finish that. And then I started reading a book that my husband had given me for Christmas, which I can't remember the name of, and it's in the other room right now. And it's about like a film noir style detective story about a wizard, and it's really good. I'm really enjoying it. But it was literally because I was waiting for my husband to finish with A Clash of Kings, and then all of a sudden he was finished with it because I was reading A Game of Thrones and it was amazing and I loved it. And I was like, oh my god, read the whole time that I had it until I finished it. And then it was like, I need to read the next one, yeah! And he wasn't done it yet. So I was waiting for him to finish it. And then he finished it and I dove straight into it. And I don't know, I've been combating. The other thing was that I was just, you get into those times in your life when you're just not reading as much as you normally do. And, even though we've been here for a good few months now, we're still sort of trying to, I guess, like, establish our routines and things. So, like, my old routine was before, we'd go to sleep at night, we'd curl up in bed most evenings, head to bed about like 10:30 and, read for an hour before we go to sleep. That's how exciting we are. And like I can be quite a terrible insomniac, so like sometimes I will stay up and I will read until I am tired because that's just what I have to do to get to sleep. I can't, like my husband can literally just go, okay, I'm gonna go to sleep now, and he's asleep. His head hits the pillow and he is asleep. He's just told himself, okay, I'm sleeping now, and poof, there he goes. I'm not like that, so I definitely read to help myself go to sleep. And these books have been terrible for that because they you wind up, looking at the clock and it's like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. You're like, I have to be up in the morning, but you didn't even notice. It's like the first time you looked up, and it's only because you're like really thirsty or something, because your mouth's just been hung open like the whole time. But they're really, really good. I don't want to give away too much. Basically, I think if you're somebody who likes J.V. Jones, you will like these. So if you read the Baker's Boy trilogy, or if you are working on, was it Cavern of Dark Ice? I think that's it. Her other series. Then you like it. I can't really think of anybody else who sort of falls into that same, level of. It's like, it is darker and definitely more adult, but without using boobs excessively to get readers, despite what the HBO series makes it look like. But it is very good. this one, Game of Thrones. I'm sorry, my light is dying. Game of Thrones, very, very good. Really, 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 really enjoyed it. Book 2 that I have finished so far this year, finished. A Clash of Kings. Very, 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 very good. Really, really, really enjoying that series. Next up on my list to finish is still working on Atlas Shrugged. Still working on the Wizard detective novel. I currently, on my Kindle app, have just started reading, like, the night before last. I just started reading The Hunger Games. So I just finished chapter 10 last night before I went to sleep. And I'm also reading one of those, like, random interest books on randomness. So 4 books in the works. We're gonna see how quick those go. But I should be doing one of these not too long from now, about the Hunger Games. I don't really know how much detail to get into because I don't want to spoil anything. But they're really, 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 really good. And if anybody wants to have a chat about it, please leave a comment below. I know it's very dark. I'm sorry. I'm gonna pick you up and move you. Yeah. That's a little bit better. Oh my god, I'm sorry. We're at dusk now. Anyway, leave a comment below if you would like to have a discussion about the books, or if you'd like to tell me that I can actually talk about actual stuff that happens in them more. That would be really great if somebody could tell me. Because I don't really know. Because, like, I'm totally cool with spoilers. I don't mind. Because I'll just go, oh my god, that happens? When does that happen? I can't wait to read that bit! You know, spoilers don't bother me whatsoever. Other than, like, yeah, they just really don't bother me. You know, that doesn't take away from any of the enjoyment for me. So yeah, if you want to discuss it, put it down below, or send me a message, which you'll find somewhere up here to send to me, or no, it might still be down there anyway. So yeah, leave a comment, send me a message, and yeah, we'll totally have a discussion about this, because they are amazing, and I really love fantasy, and these are really, really good. Really, really good, and I hope you guys are all enjoying them too, because I'm only reading The Hunger Games because the movie's coming out soon, and I kept saying to myself I was going to read them, and I was going to read the books, and I gotta read the book, and then I can go watch the movie. I can't justify going and watching the movie if I find out that I really didn't like the book, because it's so expensive to go and see a movie these days. Anyway, so hope you have a really wonderful day, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay.